folks. Now joining us on the program, we have Ed Mast. Ed, what's the name of your organization?
I volunteer with Seattle Mideast Awareness Campaign.
The Seattle Mideast Awareness Campaign. We'll link it up at the Bob Tuskin Show website. That's bobtuskin.com. Okay, Ed, let's talk about what happened recently with this billboard. We have the article at theintelhub.com. They recently got mad at a campaign that you guys had, and I'll let you go ahead and tell the listeners what took place.
Sure. We have a pattern of censorship, unfortunately, in Seattle. The full story is that back in December, we were going to run a bus ad campaign with the slogan, Israeli War Crimes, Your Tax Dollars at Work, on our local buses run by our county administration. We submitted the ad. It was examined and approved and accepted. We paid. We had a contract. They were ready to go up on December 27th, the anniversary of the Gaza assault 2 years before. And then pressure was put on King County and the ads were canceled. Subsequent to that, we signed a contract with Clear Channel Outdoors, which is the local company here. It's a national company, but Clear Channel Outdoors locally signed a contract with us to run 4 billboards in the Seattle area with a different slogan. In this case, it was Equal Rights for Palestinians, Stop Funding the Israeli Military. Once again, they examined and approved the ads twice in this case, both before and after the other ad campaign. And we signed a contract, and the billboards started to go up. 3 of them were already up, and we just got a call a couple of days ago saying that they had changed their minds, and they are canceling the campaign.
Now, Clear Channel, of course, is responsible for a lot of our media today, and especially in the business that I'm in with talk radio. They've basically syndicated a lot of their propaganda artists like Rush Limbaugh and whatnot, and of course there's a huge bias for Israel in the media in general. Was this a surprise to you? Because on one level, yes, there's this bias, but on the other level, you know, you would think that they would just be interested in doing business. There was nothing offensive. You guys didn't have anything grotesque on the sign. You know, you would think that they would want your money. It seems like them making this decision is really showing their hand.
It feels like that to me. The decision was a surprise to us. We're used to censorship. Anybody who works on the issue of Palestinian rights is used to being silenced and ignored. In this case, we deliberately picked a slogan, Equal Rights for Palestinians, which we feel is kind of unassailable. And Clear Channel clearly felt that, examined it, talked to all of their people, made their business decision that it was going to be okay. I think they were not prepared for the pressure that was put on them.
So the higher-ups, it sounds like, got involved. And you have to understand, folks, that not everyone is involved in such blatant censorship. On the lower level, usually these people are very easy to work with, and they want to do business with you. Trust me, they're struggling to get that commission or whatnot. So this must to have come from higher up, perhaps from...
We don't know one way or the other on that.
Okay.
I got a call from the president of local Clear Channel, and she was very particular in not telling me why this was. She said that there had been objections by individuals and groups. That was the phrase she used over and over again.
Maybe the ADL, perhaps?
Well, in the case of the earlier campaign, the bus ad campaign, Israeli War Crimes, Your Tax Dollars at Work, it was overtly several of the Israel defense community groups around. The Jewish Federation, I believe ADL was along the American Jewish Committee and so forth. Again, several groups that present themselves as speaking for the Jewish community, though they don't actually.
No, they don't.
They present themselves as if the Jewish community is solidly behind Israel and as if Israel represents the Jewish community. But as I think you know, the Jewish community is hugely divided, and many Jews not only object to the crimes that Israel is doing, but object to Israel saying that it represents them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you make that point, Ed, because as I've told my listeners many times, I come from a Jewish family. But to me, crimes against humanity are crimes against humanity, and it's as simple as that. I'm a human being, first and foremost. I could care less about the religion and mind control. When it comes down to the end of the day, I don't want to see people put in ghettos and concentration camps, just like we don't like the stories of the Holocaust, which now, which is a whole different story. People are being locked up around the world because of doing research on the subject matter, Ernst Zundel and others. You know, this information is information. Why should this be a threat?
So we also have Jewish colleagues who are working with us on these ads. So again, we're very disturbed that some of the mainstream organizations that say they represent the Jewish community are actually apologists for the state of Israel. So in the case of the earlier campaign, they were overtly part of the pressure. They were mounting campaigns, both locally and nationally, on our local county administration to get our bus ads taken down, and they succeeded. We don't know if it was those same groups that were involved in putting the pressure to have Clear Channel take down the ads here. Again, she merely talked about individuals and organizations. I guess it's a safe guess, but it's a speculative guess. Certainly there was some kind of pressure, and Clear Channel made a business decision to cancel and censor our ads. We're very disturbed by the disproportionate power that apparently some segments of our community have over media, both private and public. Now, again, we were censored in a public media forum through our county administration. Now we've been censored in a private corporation, a private media corporation. And what we want to do is educate about a serious human rights issue, human rights violations happening overseas that we're complicit in because our government is supporting the crimes that the state of Israel is committing.
That's right. We have to understand that we are the #1 backer to these crimes. So we, in a sense, are complicit in that blood. And until we stand up for this, like we stand up for Iraq and Afghanistan, and many of the anti-war groups do this, and I see them teaming up more and more with the anti-Zionist crimes, as I like to put it. But we really do need to get the word out, and I think this might bite them in the butt, because now this is going to ricochet, and it's going to show that this is a threat to them and validate our concerns even more. And hence why you're on the show right now. And what would you like to get out to our listeners, though, so that we let them know what this campaign's intentions really were?
The intention is to work toward the goal, which is equal rights. That's what the problem is between Israel and Palestinians. It's not about religion. It's not about ancient feuds. It's not even really about land. The problem is that one people has power over another. That Israeli Jews have power over Palestinians. They control the lives of about 5 million Palestinians, and the great majority of those Palestinians don't have the right to vote, don't have civil rights, political rights, don't in many cases have basic human rights. When there's equality, the trouble will stop. So that really is what it's about. And it's Israel and its military forces that maintains that system of one people dominating another. So it's the Israeli military that maintains the system of military occupation in the occupied territories, of siege and blockade for the people in Gaza who are essentially still occupied by Israel, of apartheid for Palestinian citizens of Israel, where even inside Israel, even though those Palestinians can technically vote, they still have a different set of laws, a different set of rights, a different set of opportunities, and inferior to those of the Jewish citizens of Israel. So our ongoing several $billion each year of U.S. aid going to that Israeli military is enforcing and supporting that system of inequality. So not only are we making a bad situation worse, but it makes us complicit as taxpayers, and why we have a very particular responsibility as U.S. citizens to speak out.
Ed, thank you very much for what you're doing, and thank you for joining us on the Bob Tuscan Show.
Thanks so much for having me, and thanks for getting the word out.
We will continue to do so, sir. Take care. All right, folks. Final segment to come in just a moment. And we're going to be giving away the raffle. So get involved. You have like 5 minutes or less, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes. I don't know. Get involved.